Hello guys, welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we have Biden versus Trump. So the rematch, and this is probably the most likely scenario at this point. I think Trump is the slight favorite to win the Republican primaries right now, but let's head into these states. So overall, I mean, Trump is definitely more unpopular than Joe Biden. You could just look up on RCP the favorabilities list, and Trump is just on the favorability side of thing, he's just way more negative than Biden. Biden's like at negative 11, while Trump's at negative 17 in total. So, yeah, that's definitely going to factor into a lot of these state picks. And that'll definitely hurt Trump because of his lower favorability. And he's already like seen as negatively unfavorable to like 57% of those people polled. So that's a pretty hard number to win with, not going to lie. But let's start off with these first few states. Colorado, and New Mexico. These are pretty solid Democratic states. I really doubt they go under 9 or like go to 9% or under 10. So these are just going to be safe blue states. Virginia, there's been a poll that I seen this morning that showed Trump not that far behind in Virginia, but the sample was only D plus 5. So I feel like they should have used like at least a D plus 8 or D plus 9 sample. Still think this is a likely state. Biden will probably win the state by about 6 to 7 points against Trump, but it's definitely reverting a bit. It might trend a bit right wing, the state of Virginia. The next election, we'll see. But as of right now, it's a likely state instead of a safe one. Okay. Next state would be New Hampshire and Maine. Maine at large is just safe blue. It's going to be trending Democratic more and more. To the fact that Maine's second will even trend a bit more Democratic than it was last time. New Hampshire, again, is a very likely state. Could go to safe blue, honestly, with Trump as the nominee. He's just that hated by independents in this state, but for now I'm putting it as a likely blue state. Same with Minnesota. Again, I just don't think Trump could win Minnesota. I really think you have to be a moderate candidate to even get it to lean at this point. I mean, in 2016, Trump was able to get it to lean, but back then, he was portraying himself as a more moderate type of candidate against Hillary Clinton. But when he got in office, he kind of changed his tune on a lot of issues, which is why it went back to likely. So I just don't think he could appeal that well to Minnesota. He'll lose it by the same margin he did last time, maybe even more than that. All right, Iowa and Ohio. I consider both these states as likely states. They're just trending more Republican, especially Iowa. Ohio, we might just see it go a little bit in favor of Joe Biden. His approval rating's not terrible in Ohio. It's not super bad. I think Trump would only carry the state by about 7 points. It'll revert 1% to favor of Joe Biden. That's what I think. I think it'll trend a little bit left than it was last time. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Alaska. It's going to be a likely Republican state. It's just trending more and more Democratic every election at this point. And with Trump as the nominee, they really dislike him here in Alaska, so I see it as a likely R state. Okay. Which state should we go to? Florida, likely Republican. It's Trump's home state. It's just trending more and more Republican. A lot of Republicans are moving to this state. That's why it's likely. Okay, the state of Texas, I'm putting this in a lean Republican state. It's on the borderline of likely for me at this point. I mean, Biden's approval rating isn't amazing here. But then again, Trump is also unfavorable in the state of Texas from a poll I've seen, but Biden's a lot more unfavorable. So honestly, I might push this state to likely. And you know what? Made this think about it. Should it be likely? I'm going to push it to likely at this point. I just think Trump will win this state by about 5 points, just barely winning it over the likely margin. So it won't be a lean state in this prediction. So it shifts back to likely. Okay. Nebraska's second, easily a likely state. Biden won this district by 7 points last time, and it's a 6% Biden won district in 2020 under the new line. So this district's trending left, and Biden will easily carry it against Trump, who isn't that well liked in this district to begin with. Okay, Nevada and Arizona. Again, I just don't think Trump has a shot in either of these two states. I think with Nevada, we're going to see much higher Democratic turnout, and Republicans couldn't even win in a midterm that favored them. They had higher turnout than the Democrats, and they still couldn't win the state. So honestly, independents are easily going to back Biden here because they just don't like Trump. Same with Arizona independents. They just don't like Trump and will back Biden. And Arizona's just a democratically trending state. So I think the Democrats have a good growing base in the state of Arizona, and that it's going to keep getting bluer. Okay. North Carolina and Georgia. We'll start off with Georgia. It's just a lean blue state again. Georgia independents just really dislike Trump by a lot here, and it's just going to keep trending more and more Democratic, this state. Well, North Carolina, I'm giving it to Trump again. I just think that as of right now, I think Trump has a slight edge here because of how competitive Virginia's gotten. Maybe I was over underrating Trump in the South, but I think he would probably carry North Carolina as of right now. But it could go back and forth. Honestly, the next month's prediction, if I see a new poll out of North Carolina, then Trump could win it. I swapped North Carolina's rating because I've seen Joe Biden's approval polls in North Carolina. They aren't the best, which is why I'm now giving the state towards Trump instead of Biden. Okay, and these three remaining states. Michigan, honestly, it's bordering unlikely at this point. It really could go to likely, but for now, Biden wins the state by about 4.5%. Pennsylvania, Biden wins it by 2.5. Again, he has decent approval ratings here. They're still negative, but Trump's very unfavorable in these two states, as we've seen in the midterm elections. All his candidates lost by quite a bit in both these states. And in the state of Wisconsin, this is the one Rust Belt state Trump could possibly win, but I still think Biden's decently favored here to win here by about 0.8%. So overall, it'd be a repeat of the 2020 election map. North Carolina and Wisconsin, those are the two states that could change, though, from the 2020 election. So these two states I'm going to be keeping an eye on for future predictions. They probably would shift a bit back and forth, we could see. Okay, well, that's my election prediction. What do you think of it in the comments below? See you guys.